What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about our probably best player of this season, at least, in DeMar DeRozan, and how important his role is in the NBA playoffs for the Chicago Bulls. At the end of the day, there are not many players on this Bulls team that have had significant runs in the playoffs, at least. So I want to talk about DeMar DeRozan and the importance of having him deliver for the Chicago Bulls in the NBA playoffs. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls' playoff chances against the Milwaukee Bucks. Do you give us much of a chance in this game? Do you see us falling short? And overall, can we make this competitive? I ask this almost every video now because we're getting closer and closer and closer to the inevitable. We're going to be in the NBA playoffs. If you've seen the play-in games, hear that atmosphere every single game that you've watched in the play-in. It's truly undeniable how important the fans are going to be for the Chicago Bulls in this series. Same with the Milwaukee Bucks as well. And we're going to need to give our full 100% support to the Chicago Bulls, whether we are optimistic or nervous or we're just not really seeing what the Bulls can do in this series. We got to give them that support and make them feel the environment that we're going to be bringing at the United Center. And of course, Milwaukee's not far away from Chicago whatsoever, so I can almost ensure that the Chicago Bulls fans will be in Milwaukee as well. But enough about that. Let's talk about DeMar DeRozan. So I think the main reason why DeMar DeRozan is so vital towards this NBA playoff series for the Chicago Bulls, besides the fact that he was our best player in the regular season, despite the fact that he's probably going to be an All-NBA type player in terms of the NBA accolades, for me personally, the experience that he brings in the NBA playoffs is essential towards a very young and very, of course, inexperienced Chicago Bulls team. Now, unfortunately, Lonzo is going to be a guy that we won't see in this NBA playoffs. But if you look at everybody else, you've got Zach LaVine, who's 27 years old and is about to enter his first playoff experience. Now, of course, we've heard Zach LaVine over the past few days talk about his confidence, talk about how he's ready, talk about how he has to go through the NBA playoffs and experience it to know what it's going to be like in the future. All those things are very good things to hear, but of course, actions do speak louder than words. You got Patrick Williams, that is slowly starting to find that aggressiveness that we've seen in the Summer League, and he showed it in the last game of the season. And I think he understands how important being aggressive is for the Chicago Bulls team. You got guys like Ayo Dosunmu that's gradually improved throughout the course of the regular season. He's at his ups and he's at his downs. But the most important thing is that he's improved in every single way possible you could imagine as a Chicago Bulls player. Then you've got guys on the bench that need to step up as well. All of those guys, like I said, playoff experience is relatively none. None of them have playoff experience. Then you've got Kobe White off his bench, a streaky shooter, a guy that could be very valuable or could be detrimental towards the Chicago Bulls' success in the NBA playoffs. He has to have a really good series. Then you got guys like Derrick Jones Jr. with very little playoff experience. He's 25 years old. Alex Caruso's obviously won a championship. He's another guy we're going to have to rely on. Tristan Thompson is also another guy we're going to have to rely on. But then there are other guys, the rest of the guys around the league, little to no playoff experience. And DeMar DeRozan being probably had the most playoff experience outside of Tristan Thompson, is going to be the guy that we solely need to rely on if we're going to succeed here in the NBA playoffs. DeMar's had a fantastic year, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists season, very high efficiency, very high three-point shooting for at least his caliber of threes. He's done fantastic this year. But the NBA playoffs is a different beast, and out of everybody, I expect DeMar DeRozan to know this the most because he's been in the most playoff series. You look at guys like Vucevic, he has playoff experience as well, but the playoff experience is nowhere near what DeMar's is because his was relatively in the 8th seed, kind of expecting to lose. That's Vucevic's playoff experience. DeMar is in a very different situation because he's been on winning teams before. Has he got to the championship level? No, he hasn't. Has he choked in the playoffs before? Yes, he has. Has he been called DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs before? Yes, he has. But with every single year that those failures come with DeMar DeRozan, is another year where we expect him to at least deliver in a better fashion than what we've seen before. And I have to believe that DeMar DeRozan can do that for the Chicago Bulls. I have to believe, as the leader of this team, he will need to settle us down in the NBA playoffs, because I know many people will be out of all sorts in that first game, in that second game, and going into the rest of the series. DeMar has the coolest head in the room. He has his own tempo. He has the ability to change the pace of the game with the way that he plays. He's going to need to use every single one of those attributes to full effect in the NBA playoffs. When guys like Ayo Dosunmu may be running on defense and offense, maybe not waiting for other guys, trying to run out and get an easy bucket in transition when it's not on, DeMar has to be that leader that guides Ayo into maybe slowing down the play, because the NBA playoffs is all about half-court sets. It's all about the adjustments. DeMar's going to be that guy that has to settle guys like Ayo down, and settle guys like Kobe down, even settle guys like Levine down, because you can't just run into a blind alley and expect to walk out with wins against the former champions in the Milwaukee Bucks, or the reigning champions, I should say. We don't really know if they'll win the championship this year or not. All that being said, DeMar DeRozan is the leader of this team, and with that comes responsibility that I don't think any other player on this team can handle. Will he be called DeMar DeRozan this year? Will he be called a choke artist this year? Those things were, again, those were on the Raptors. The Raptors were one hell of a team when he was on there. All of that was with the good Toronto Raptors team. And I guess all of that is more specified because they won a championship when DeMar got traded. But at the end of the day, DeMar DeRozan is a very talented player. He's one of the best in the NBA for a reason. And I still believe that he is one of the best in the NBA. And that playoff experience has to come to our advantage. And we'll have to wait and see if he can do that. For a number of reasons as well, DeMar DeRozan is going to be playing a lot of offense in this game. He's going to take a lot of shots as well. As much as it comes down to controlling the tempo, ensuring guys are prepared for this moment and what to expect, DeMar is going to take the bulk of the responsibility on offense as well. Whether we like it or not, that's another situation where he has to deliver for the Chicago Bulls. There is no more turning back in this NBA season. What's done is done. The bad performances, the bad losses, the struggles in March and April, they all don't mean anything right now for the Chicago Bulls, because what's in front of us is where DeMar DeRozan has to deliver his best basketball. That's how we're going to have a chance to win, is if DeMar DeRozan can lead us, control the team in certain ways where it feels like an NBA playoff type team, and we end up delivering on the offensive end. And DeMar delivers on the offensive end, whether that's making the right pass, whether that's shooting the right shot, whether that's himself running in transition. He has to control this game because he's the only one that really has the experience to do so. When you look at guys, again, Vucevic, not great playoff experience. Tristan Thompson is another guy that's going to have to set the tempo as well. These are all things that are going to be very important for the Chicago Bulls in their success story against the Milwaukee Bucks, if they are to have one. So, I ask the question to you guys now. Let me know in the comments below what you think about DeMar DeRozan and his vitalness towards the Chicago Bulls. Is he the most important guy on this team? It's a team effort at the end of the day. Everybody is important. Everybody has to play a part. I've said thousands of times, there are no passengers in the NBA playoffs. And if anybody does play like a passenger, they're benched and other guys have to come in and make that impact. It's as simple as that. We can't allow for mediocre performances in the NBA playoffs. But DeMar DeRozan as the oldest guy on this team, DeMar DeRozan as the leader of this team, DeMar DeRozan as the guy that has been through these moments almost every single year, except for the San Antonio Spurs year, the whole Raptors series. He has that experience. He's had that criticism. He's had names called upon him negatively and positively in the NBA playoffs. The question is, can he deliver for the Chicago Bulls when we need him the most? Because it's guaranteed that we're going to need him the most in this series. Can he do the right things? Can he do well for the Chicago Bulls? We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we can still have to, I guess, hope that one of the guys with no playoff experience will also step up. Zach LaVine, Patrick, Ayo, Kobe. Some of them are going to have to step up. It can't just be DeMar. But DeMar as the leader will have to deliver, in my opinion, the most out of anybody on this team. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'm very excited. These play-in games have got me hyped for the NBA playoffs. Those atmospheres is something that is immeasurable, in my opinion. And it's what the NBA playoffs is all about. It's the biggest stage where the biggest teams are there to compete for the biggest prize. And the atmosphere, in my opinion, will change everything for a team. So if we come come into the United Center with that crowd rocking, it's something that I haven't experienced in a very long time, and it's something I'm desperate to see again. So the United Center crowd, whoever's going to that game, make the loudest noise as you can and let Milwaukee Bucks feel your presence, because I think they will crumble under that pressure. But at the same time, they've been there before. They know what it's like. I'm sure they can handle themselves. But as long as we give our all, and as long as the crowd makes them know that they're there, I think, again, it can be a shifting turn towards our favor. We'll wait and see. The same goes with Milwaukee in their home as well. They have a very loud arena as well. But let's just hope for the best. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.